good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whenever you may be tuning in to the Growing Our Future podcast. I tell you, those that know that I'm an ag guy. I'm an agricultural guy. And I always tell people, if agriculture's taught me anything, it's taught me this. If you want to know what the future is, grow it. Well, to grow it, you've got to plant the right seeds. You got to take care of those seeds. And then one day, if you do it all right and you keep the weeds out, you get to harvest it. And then when you harvest it, I want you to share it with others. That's what this podcast is about. It's about growing a better future. And to do that, we invite incredible guests to come on here, guests that are willing to share their testimonies, their experiences, their insights. And today we have got an exceptional guest. I had the opportunity to be a part of a program called Igniting the Next Generation Leadership Program, and I got to hear this man speak. And as soon as I heard him speak, I said, I got to get that man on the Growing Our Future podcast. And he didn't hesitate. I want y'all to know he didn't say, let me think about it. How many podcasts have you done? He said, Aaron, I'm all in. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear from Trenell here in a second. This is Trenell Walker. Trenell, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, my pleasure. I'm so excited to be able to just sit here and chit chat with you like two friends that we are.
And that's exactly what I'm glad you said that, because that's what we're going to do. So I don't like any formal structure. People ask me all the time, Trenell, they say, can you send me the questions? Can you tell me what you're going to ask me? And I'm like, nope. I said, that's the reason I like this, is because I think when we are just genuinely having a conversation, I think that's where the real seeds of greatness in a person's testimony, in their story, I think that's where it comes out. And I know, Trenell, that's what's going to happen today.
I'm right there with you. I'm touching and agreeing with you.
Okay, here we go. We kick off this podcast and everybody gets the same question. So guess what? You get the same question everybody else gets. And that is this. Trenell, what are you grateful for today?
Man, I'm grateful to be able to breathe. And the reason why I say that is because, with my spinal cord injury, I have a C4 spinal cord injury, which has left me paralyzed from the neck down. And as a result, I only use one of the three muscles we use to breathe, which is the diaphragm. And we have the chest muscle and the stomach muscle. So for me, I've been dealing with congestion for the last 2 days. And even prior to getting onto this podcast, I actually had to have my assistant to be able to help me cough up the congestion that I've been dealing with. So just being able to breathe the breath of life that's been breathed into our nostrils, I mean, I'm so grateful for that, because I can't take that for granted. Because if you can't breathe, you can't teach. If you can't teach, you can't speak. If you can't speak, you can't influence.
Well, we just stop right there. That's the reason why I wanted him on here, because that's the kind of gold y'all are going to get all day today, right there. Trenell, I agree with you, by the way. You said something else there that I think I want to go ahead and I'm just going to throw it out there. I like to ask the kids, I say, name the most successful athlete, and they'll name them. I'll say, name the most successful business person. They'll name them. Name the most successful entertainer. They'll name them. And I said, now think about all that success you just named. And then I always ask them, which one of those people make their own heart beat every day?
Wow.
Let that sink in for a second. And then all of a sudden you realize that breath you just talked about, what an incredible gift. What an incredible gift. And we're going to talk about that, because that's some good stuff right there.
Let's go.
All right, here we go. So again, the way that we met was we were both part of a project through a Generation Ziegler program, which, by the way, Trenell and I both have a connection to Tom Ziegler and the Ziegler Corporation. Trenell, I don't know if you know or not, but back in the day, Zig Ziglar, he didn't know it, but Zig Ziglar was my mentor.
What?
And I used the book, See You at the Top, to get elected Texas FFA president. And on the weekends, I lived in Dallas when I was state president. And on the weekends, I would go downtown Dallas to First Baptist Church, and I would go to Zig Ziglar Sunday school class.
Mm.
He never knew I was there. Now, you can imagine what it was like years later when James McLam and Matt Rush introduced me to Tom Ziglar. And I got to tell Tom about his dad being my mentor.
Mm.
And then ultimately, Tom Ziglar came on my board of directors. He's on the board of directors of the Texas FFA Foundation. Now, you can imagine what it was like for me to sit in a room at Ziglar headquarters and watch Tom Ziglar training our state officers. I'm
Wow.
sitting here going, your daddy did that for me. And now I'm getting to watch you pour into this next generation of leaders.
Mm.
So I say all that to tee up Trenell's credentials because he is a speaker, a life coach, and he is a Ziglar certified speaker, presenter, and coach. And I think it's pretty obvious, Trenell. I got another really good board member, Cleo Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
who's also a speaker, presenter. Cleo's grandfather said, son, he said, never speak on the obvious, and game recognizes game.
True.
I think anybody that listens and looks at Trenell knows that this man's got a story. He's got a testimony. And that is why I wanted him on here, because when I heard it, I was inspired. And
Mm.
so, Trenell, you didn't just fall into that seat right there.
No, sir.
There's a story that needs to be told. So if you would take a moment and just kind of lead us on your life journey as to where you are today and how you got there.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate you blessing me with this opportunity. No, I haven't always used the Superfly wheelchair, that I'm sitting in today. I'm telling you, 28 years ago, man, football was my life. But I was passionate about it. I had planned on using my athletic talents to be able to pay for college and to be able to, take care of my family. Because, I mean, from what I was told, my talents was, on an NFL level.
Mm,
And I already knew that my mom, being a single parent, working a full-time job, only making $5.25 at the time, plus two part-time jobs to take care of me, my older brother, and my grandmother who had a disability, wouldn't be able to, pay for me to go to college. So going to college put me a step closer to my ultimate goal, and that was to be able to play in the NFL. Because I had already been in class visualized, you know, being drafted in the first round of the NFL draft, walking across the stage, shaking the commissioner's hand, putting on that hat that represented that star. Oh, yeah, baby, I was already representing them Dallas Cowboys, holding up that jersey with the number one on it, signing a contract to make enough money just to retire my mom,
mm,
work, buy her a house, as well as a brand new car. But it's been said that the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. And on October 20th, 1995, I was fulfilling my dream as a freshman, playing on the varsity football team, starting at the defensive back position at the strong safety. I'll never forget the lights from Bearcat Stadium shined down on the field, capturing my performance. The cold October breeze nipped at my skin as I walked to the left side of the defense to take my position. I looked in at the quarterback, waiting for him to receive the ball. He received the football and immediately tossed it to the running back headed in my direction. Man, I seen the running back coming my way and I read that play. Oh, yeah, like a book. I ran upfield, stopped the running back. The running back saw me. He tried to reverse field, but he slipped, and I made a textbook tackle from behind, hitting the running back, wrapping him up and driving him toward the ground. But unknowing to me, my teammate was coming from the opposite side to assist. The running back saw it, but I didn't. And so the running back ducked underneath, and when he did, it exposed my head and my own teammate ran into me, hitting me at the top of my helmet, crushing the fourth vertebrae in my neck, leaving me paralyzed from the neck down. You know what was meant to be my high school glory days turned to temporary defeat. But I learned that temporary defeat does not mean permanent failure. I tried a bad attitude. I tried blaming others. But one of the things that I learned from my mom is that nothing beats a failure but a try. And that's when I started to really change my attitude in trying what I now call the Trenell Effect. And that's taking action, being resilient, encouraging, never quitting, evaluating, learning, and love and myself to be able to continue to pursue my career forward. And in doing so, I was able to continue to go to high school. I ended up graduating with my classmates in 1999. And I wasn't finished with that. I wanted to more. I wanted to be able to give back. So I pursued my college career in the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas, in rehabilitation studies. So I ended up getting my bachelor's degree, and I'm like, man, I want a little bit more. I want something more specific. So I decided to go into rehabilitation counseling, and I ended up becoming a rehabilitation counselor. And then, lo and behold, in 2015, I ended up becoming a Ziegler Legacy certified trainer, as well as DISC certified side, as well as, again, a coach. So it's been a journey. And I was a corporate trainer for 12 years for a pediatric home health. And I'm not sharing all this to impress you, but to impress upon you. It's impossible to stop a motivated person because they will never quit.
Wow. One day, Trenell, I was in you're from a small North Texas town. I'm from a small North Texas town. And
Mhm.
before I took this job that I'm in now, 24 years ago, I used to work in a boot camp. I worked with truant offenders and I worked in a prison. So I went from that audience to these FFA kids. So that kind of tells you the shift in the audience that I went from.
Mhm.
But I remember one day I was in this coffee shop where these old men had gathered and they were cussing, discussing what's wrong with this country. And they said, Alejandro, I'll tell you what's wrong with this country. I said, what is it? They said, we got to get back to the basics. I said, all
Mhm.
right, I'm listening. The three R's. I said, okay. They said, yep, reading, writing, and arithmetic. And if we'll just get back to the basics, we'll put this country back on track. And I remember sitting there listening to those men. And I said, gentlemen, I mean you no disrespect, but I agree with you about the three R's. I said, I work with truant offenders, I work with juvenile detention kids, and I work in a prison. And everybody that I can work with can read, write, and do math at some functional level. I said, but you're right about the three R's. But it's not reading, writing, and arithmetic. I said, I think if we could just get back to respect, responsibility, and resiliency, I said, something tells me if we get back to the basics of those three, learn to respect yourself, your fellow man, learn to be responsible for yourself, your family, your community, your state, country, and learn to get up when you've been knocked down.
Mm.
Not everybody's going to put that cap on, hold that jersey up,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean that there's not another purpose for that life. But you got to be resilient. And that's one reason Trenell's story touches me, is because I love to see somebody who's resilient and take their resiliency and pour it into others. Before we came on the air, Trenell and I were talking about that. And, Trenell's been given a testimony for a reason. Could be the person that's listening to the podcast today. I've been given a testimony for a reason. And we never know when that person's going to cross our life path. And that's why we've got to share. That's why we got to grow the future. Because Trenell and I both, I know what the stats are. I'm not going to be here forever.
Mhm.
We got to make sure somebody's there to pick up and carry on and make it better for the people that follow in our footsteps. And that's why I like Trenell. I like his story. Trenell, I know that, one of the things I like that you do so cleverly, by the way, I brag on you all the time. You don't know that I do this, but Trenell has this knack of taking words and then he spells it out with all these little hints of life and how to live a better life. Trenell, walk me through some of those. Walk me through some of your favorite words and their meanings to success.
I mean, the ones that I really like, and I actually broke it down in the acronym, and I call it the Trenell Effect. And you briefly heard me say it earlier. And I like to teach this when I go out and share and do my trainings because we all have value. And the acronym for Trenell, to take action, the resilient, the encourage, the never quit, the evaluate, the learn, and love. That shows me my value. But then when I put an affirmation to it, that's going to show me my effect. And this is what I mean by this. This, the T is for take action. Why? Proper action leads to satisfaction. The R, resilient. Why? Be resilient because 2 steps back can lead to a great comeback. The E, encourage. Why? Encourage in order to help one flourish. The N, never quit. Why? It's impossible to stop a motivated person because they will never quit. The E, evaluate. Why? Evaluation can help lead to your destination. The L, learn. Why? Because when you learn, you earn respect for yourself, others, and you could possibly earn more money, money, money. And the last L is for love. Why? Because love is a gift from above. And so by being able to take action, be resilient, encourage, never quit, evaluate, learn, and love, that will give you the power to persevere. So you may influence lives and empower generations to thrive. So that's one of the acronyms that I like to use. And the other one I like to use is called live.
Okay.
Because I like to live one day at a time or live in the moment. And the L stands for laugh. Laugh as long as you breathe. We all go through some things every day, and we may experience depression, but I've learned that 12 laughs a day keep depression away. The I is for inspire, because you have to inspire yourself by breathing life into yourself, by having a gratitude journal. So when you're going through things and you need to inspire yourself, just look at your gratitude journal because I keep one every day that I write down what I'm grateful for. The V is for value. Value every moment by living in the moment because the only time we're able to live is in the present moment.
Hmm.
And the last one is E, it's for enjoy. Enjoy the people and the day because you never know when it's going to be your last. So those are, and you can just live one day at a time, or like I say, live in the moments, laugh, inspire, value, enjoy the moments.
That is so good. That's why I told you I wanted you on here right there. That I love the way that you take some really deep and sophisticated life concepts and you put them in a real easy digestible form that a person could assimilate. One that I heard years ago that I use is R2A2. I don't know if you've ever heard of R2A2. Most people ask me if it's a Star Wars character, and I say no, it's not. R2A2 stands for recognize, relate, assimilate, and apply.
Mm.
So, what I hope people do in these podcasts is recognize the concept. Trenell just gave me the Trenell effect. Trenell just gave me live. Relate to it. Okay, well, I see what he was saying there about love and laughter and living, and I think I can kind of relate to that. The next one is assimilate, to take in and to make part of oneself. And then after you do that, you got to apply it. You
Mhm.
got to apply the Trenell effect. You got to apply the live. And so I think that when I heard you speak and I watched you lay these things out for me, as somebody who's practicing R2A2, now you know why I wanted you on here, because I'm like, I got to get that guy on here to share all that, because that's exactly what we need to do.
Yes. I mean, I definitely agree with you on that because we can listen and hear things all day long, but if we can't relate to them and if we can't apply them to our lives, it's basically useless. Because I hear people say knowledge is power. And I'm like, no, knowledge is potential power.
Mm,
Applying that knowledge is where the power comes in because now
mm.
you got wisdom. Because now you can learn from what you have already been taught. Now you're applying it. Now you can even share it with others, where now there's wisdom and experience that comes from that. So that's where I look at it. Applied knowledge is where the real power comes in.
Well,
So
that's
I
good.
agree with you.
That is good. That is real good. And by the way, I like all that. I'm not going to go. This is not the platform for me to share my story. Most of the viewers here know my background and my story, but that FFA jacket was the game changer for me, Trenell. That blue and gold FFA jacket.
Hmm.
When I put that jacket on and zipped it up, you didn't know that I came from a broken home. You didn't know that I had my dinner from a garbage can. That I had $25 in my account when I went to college, or a 14 on my ACT.
Mm.
You knew none of that. That jacket, I looked just like everybody else. That means I had the same opportunity as everybody else.
Yes.
But to your point, if I would have never applied what I knew, if I would have never have taken a risk and tried what I knew, if I'd have never been willing to take that first step back of resiliency, I'd have never had the opportunities that I've been granted to this day. The blessings that wait on the other side. I guarantee you, Trenell, that where you're at's not where you anticipated being.
No,
But I,
sir.
but I also believe that, and I do. I sure hope I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I hope I'm right. I think I am. Something tells me you're an awful grateful person. You're an awful blessed person because of the people that you've met in your life.
Hmm. Yes, definitely on that. And you had spoke about opportunities, and that's one of the things that I've learned from sports. I mean, you learn from what you just said is that you have to seize the opportunity. And there's two times that I have to seize the opportunity every time I get. But one of the things that really come to me is, as I was sharing with you, I was an athlete playing on the varsity football team. But what happened is I always remember this. Coach, I was out there on the practice field and I was on the scout team. And next thing I hear, I was like, freshman, get in. And so I'm trotting in, and we had to go against the first team defense. And I'm out there, and I'm in the huddle, and the quarterback is like, Trenell, the ball is coming to you. And I'm like, okay. And I'm telling you, man, our defense was huge. And so it was a sweep. So quarterback received the ball and he tossed it to me, and I'm running to the outside as fast as I could. Well, I spread the defense apart and I seen a hole where I could just cut up and walk right into the end zone. And that's what I did. And I never forget, the coach looked at me and was like, man, this kid is good. And he moved me up to the varsity football team based off of that. But it's because I saw an opportunity. I was given an opportunity against the scout team to go against the first team defense to do my best. And there are going to be people out there that are watching this. You're going to get an opportunity. Take that opportunity, seize in a moment. You may be afraid, because I was afraid. Because a big obstacle in front of you, but you have to believe in yourself and take the opportunity, because you never know when that opportunity is going to present you again. And when you do take that opportunity and to be able to seize that moment and to make the decision, then you can move your life to the next level. And I'm gonna say this about decide, because I was blessed by my assistant, who is also in the FFA, and she is a teacher, a retired teacher. And
Mhm.
it's something that I had to do with my life whenever I got injured. I had to decide. And she told me the suffix of decide is simply to kill off. Whether it's homicide, suicide, or pesticide, it means to kill off. So whenever you wake up in the morning and you have to make a decision, you have to decide what are you going to kill off that's holding you back in order for you to go towards your future. Are you going to kill off the self-limiting beliefs? Are you going to kill off the group of people that are being negative around you? What are you going to kill off in order to make the decision to decide to do your best?
Well, that's good. Your assistant said that?
Yes, yeah. She broke it down to me about the word decide. So I'm like, I'm going to use that because I had to make a decision every day. Every day I get up, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. So I have to make a decision every day to decide, am I going to feel like I'm a burden and cry myself to sleep like I used to when my injury first happened? Or am I going to decide to be thankful that God has given me an opportunity to continue to breathe the breath of life that I've been given, an opportunity to use my mind to the fullest, even though I can't use my body, my ability to be able to use what I have rather than focusing on what I don't have. So I have to make that decision to decide to kill off that negativity in order to focus on the positivity.
That is awesome. Yeah. So here's the thing. Okay. So you didn't make it into the NFL. You're still a pro, by the way. I just want you to know that. Think about it. People fear public speaking more than they fear dying.
Right.
Look at what you're doing. You're like out here on this field in the Pro Bowl. You're playing the Super Bowl every day, inspiring other people. So to your point, I'm glad you killed off those negative voices that could have prevented you from sharing such an incredible testimony. Let's dive a little bit deeper in here. And not that I don't already have a page full of incredible wisdom that you've already poured into us, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to pour some more.
All right.
So I like to ask the kids, I said, how many high schools are in Texas? Now, there's other people from all over the country watching this podcast, and I don't know what the high schools are in every other state, but in Texas, we have over 3,000 high schools.
Mm.
Now, think about that for a second 3,000 high schools. Every one of them are going to have a graduating class this year. That means that all these kids are going to get out. They're going to be looking for a job, scholarship, or an opportunity. And so I always ask the kids, what is your competitive edge? What is it that separates you from everybody else? It could be something as simple as a firm handshake, look them in the eye, say yes or no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. It could be something as simple as saying thank you. But I
Mm-hmm.
believe that you got to have something, a competitive edge that kind of separates you from the competition. Trenell, if you were coaching kids and you were telling them a little bit about life, and I think the Trenell effect, I think that's a competitive edge. I think live, I think that is a competitive edge. Is there anything else you would tell young people? Put this in place in your life. Do this when you get out, and I guarantee it'll be a competitive edge.
Yes. And it's called be about it. Be about what you say you're going to do.
Mm.
And I actually have a little chant that I do with athletes, with other high schools, and it's called Be About It. Would you like to help me out? Would you like to help me out, Aaron?
Of
This
course, I
chant?
want to help you out. I'm not going to
All
tell my guests no.
right. All right, all right. So here what this is what I want you to do. So I want you to say this with me. Be about it.
Be
Be
about it.
about it.
Be
Be
about it.
about it. Keep going.
Be about it.
Keep
Be
going.
about it.
Keep going.
Be about it.
What?
Be about it.
What?
Be about it.
What?
Be about it.
What? So
Be
now,
about it.
so now I'm going to add something to that. As soon as I finish with it, I want you to say be about it, okay? You're gonna start it out. I'm gonna count you down. Three, two, one, and you're gonna say be about it, and then I'm gonna say something after. Three, two, one.
Be about it.
Being the best woman or man,
Be about it.
doing the best that you can,
Be about it.
adding value to people's life,
Be about it.
ending hatred and even strife,
Be about it.
using your abilities,
Be about it.
treating everyone equally,
Be about it.
understanding your self worth.
Be about it.
You have a purpose here on this earth.
Be about it.
Be the best version of you,
Be about it.
making it do what it do.
Be about it.
Just wanted to get this off my chest.
Be about it.
You are amazing, and don't forget to
Be about it.
what?
Be about it.
What?
Be about it.
Exactly. So I just want to encourage everyone out there to have that competitive edge. Be about being the best person you can be. Be about it using your uh what the opportunities you can to the fullest, because that's all I have ever done. That's the only thing that separates me from everyone else, is that I have decided to be about it. And I want you to be about it too.
Thanks, Trenell. I appreciate that. You know, I will not go through the rest of my day without saying, be about it.
Exactly. See,
Be
it's
about it.
catchy. Exactly.
Oh, it's
Beautiful.
beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's talk about one last topic here. I want to talk about again, all I'm doing is pouring more fuel on this incredible fire you've given us. We'll talk about leadership.
Mhm.
I think our homes, our neighborhoods, our state, and our country could sure use a lot more strong leaders. Trenell, if you could pour into others the importance of leadership, being a leader, what would you tell them?
To be a game changer, you have to take the lead. And lead stands for leadership, encouragement, accountability, and discipline. Lead by example. Have that common goal with yourself. Have a goal for yourself and your team and the people in your life. And you have to encourage, be a beacon of light, of hope, to be encouraging to people, to be able to set goals and to reset goals. But not only that, you have to, again, have that accountability, be responsible, do what you say you're going to do, and respond. I like what I think Stephen Covey said. It's like responsibility, and you put a hyphen between response and ability, and it's your ability to respond to
Mm,
things.
mm.
And as being accountable, you have to be able to respond to things in a way to be able to help yourself and others, but also you got to have that discipline. You got to do it every day. And you got to, again, like we said earlier, to decide, you have to cut out all the things that's not going to get you to where you want to be. And by doing that, you're able to be a game changer by taking the lead. Leadership, encouragement, accountability, and discipline. That's how we're going to change the game right there in life, in our communities, and, in whatever we do.
Told you what I tell y'all. I said we're just gonna keep pouring it on, and he's gonna keep pouring it out. And guess what? That's what he's about. So that's what he just did.
Uh,
Oh man, Trenell, thank you so much. This is so good. I mean, I've got a whole page of notes here. Is there anything else you'd like to share? Anything else you'd like for people to know about life's journeys and the importance of a healthy perspective?
I'm telling you, your most valuable asset that you have is your mind. So it's going to be important to be able to guard your mind and to be able to train it in a way that you're able to use it to the fullest. And again, for me, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. I can't use my body to distract me. Only thing that I have is my mind. I have my faith, my family, and my mind. So again, protect your most valuable asset, utilize it to the fullest, which is your mind.
So Trenell, back in the day, when I used to work with the at-risk kids in the boot camp and with the juvenile detention and some other programs. I used to ask the kids this question. I said, if I gave you a water canteen and I gave you a water faucet and I told you we were going to take a trip across the desert, I said, what would you do with that canteen? And they'd all look at me like I was stupid. And they said, well, of course, Mr. Aaron, I'd fill up my canteen. I'd fill it to the brim. I'd drink as much water as I could. I'd get my shirt and get it wet. I said, why would you do all that? And they said, because I got to get across the desert. I said, that's right. What do you know about deserts? And they said, well, they're hot, they're dry, and you're going to need that. I said, well, how do you know that? I said, you ever been to one? Well, no, but I know people that have, and they've told me about it. I said, good. Guess what I know about life? It's a long, hot desert, and this right here is your canteen, and you better fill it up with as much information as you can, because I'm telling you, it's long and it's hard out there, and you're going to need to have wisdom and discernment and all the tools up here in your tool belt to get through that desert of life. And they all say, well, I guess that kind of makes sense. I said, dang right, it makes sense. Now I'm going to get to tell them, be about it. So be about filling that canteen up.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
All right, Trenell, I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate your willingness to share. And if y'all didn't catch it earlier, he just came off of a little bit of a sickness. So this was a real challenge to step up and deliver today. And you did it exceptionally, by the way. And your assistant there, she's exceptional as well. And I just appreciate both of you and your willingness to help us today. Every guest gets a fun question at the end, Trenell, so you get a fun question too.
All right.
I want to know, Mr. Trenell Walker, what is the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, man, it's been so long since I've been to a concert. But I think I remember, man, when I was younger, man, going to this a New Edition concert, man. I had never been to a concert before in my life, and I went with my stepmom, and it was a great concert, man. It was very yeah, it was great. That's why I still remember it.
New Edition. I remember New Edition. Look at you go. I love it. That's the other thing I like about this podcast, Trenell, is we get a whole spectrum, as you might imagine. I've got everything from country western to heavy metal. One on here that loved Pitbull. I've heard everything. So
awesome. What about you?
Oh man, if you were to grab my phone right now and look at my music category, I've got everything from Frank Sinatra to contemporary Christian to rock and roll to a little R&B to a little, I mean, I even got some old school Run DMC rap in there.
What?
I got Jimmy Buffett, Michael Bublé. I'm a diehard Bruce Springsteen fan. I like a little bit of everything.
Oh, good deal. Good deal.
Well, listen, let's wrap it up. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping by. I meant the fact that you're willing to give us a little bit of your time. I meant the only thing we get to do with time is spend it. And the fact that you stopped by to share and listen to Trenell just pour into us, to share the Trenell Effect, to share live, to share lead. But I would say, I think there's even something deeper there. And that's for Trenell to share his testimony. And I appreciate his courageousness, his willingness. Trenell, around our shop, we have a saying that goes like this. It says, when your values are clear, your choices are easy. When your values are clear, your choices are easy. The other thing that we say is that the essence of leadership is to plant trees under whose shade you may never sit. And Trenell, your willingness to share is planting a lot of great trees. And there's going to be some mighty oaks one day because of what you're doing for us.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, until we meet again, go out and do something great for somebody. You'll feel good about it. And maybe our homes, community, state, country will be a better place to live, work, and raise our kids because of it. We'll see you on the next episode of Growing Our Future. Everybody take care.
Bye.